when I was talking about my service being super crappy, I totally lost you guys. And it's kind of funny because there's nobody else in the building today. There's nothing else online. It is not storming, but whatever. So hi there. Crispina French here. And I'm not sure, like, I can't really tell when the video starts. So, um, right when I was talking about my lackluster connectivity out here in Beckett, sure enough, the video ended right before I was done. So we were talking about, so this is day number 13 of my 30-day mini series, and it's the second part of it. So if you are just finding this, there is a first part of it that might be kind of fun to watch first. So anyways, I'm here. If you're here, just send me a shout out because sorry about that last video. It just kind of blipped out midstream. I was like in the middle of a sentence. I was just actually, the universe is slapping me on the wrist because I was talking about the lackluster connectivity that I have. And right at that moment, it was like, boink, no connectivity at all. Anyway, so we were talking about materials and collecting materials for creative textile recycling. And when I say textile, like, sometimes I feel like I use words that are very familiar to me but are not familiar to people who are not me. So when I say creative textile upcycling, what I mean is cutting up old clothing and making it into new, useful, and beautiful things for giving or keeping or using for your life. From rugs, carpeting, to blankets, to accessories, mittens, scarves, hats. You can make sweaters, you can make beach bags, you can make curtains. I mean, the sky is literally the limit. There is absolutely no limit to what you can do with material that you collect from the thrift store. Or actually, we were talking about me shopping at the thrift store, and that is where I find the bulk of my material. Although, since COVID has been the new way, I have been asking for donations from my followers, fans, family, and friends. And I've been really lucky to have been, a lot of people, and maybe you're one of them, have a hard time knowing what to do with materials that they're kind of maybe a little bit attached to, but they're just not using. So if you have wool sweaters, cashmere, even wool coats, denim jeans that are cotton, any kind of men's dress shirts, I really try to stick to the natural fiber, so linen, cotton, anything like that, that you don't know what to do with, feel free to send them my way. Anyway, so yes, material is collected through thrift stores or from donations. And if you're interested in this process and you want to get started, it's a great way to collect material. People feel very grateful to have a place to give their belongings to, especially if they know they're going to be inspiring creativity. So that's that. And then as far as like storage goes, I kind of went over it a little bit. Tubs are really useful. You can use cardboard boxes, although I did use cardboard boxes for years, and I have to say I did break down and buy plastic tubs that are see-through, so I can tell what's in the tubs without having to look. And yes, everything gets laundered. I don't use dry cleaning for anything. Dry cleaning is super toxic. It's really bad for you, and it's really bad for the environment. So I really try to push people toward just gently hand washing anything that's delicate or that's marked dry clean only. And then, yeah, as far as the My Material collection goes, with the exception of my potholder rugs, I really try to use all natural materials. So cotton, linen, wool, cashmere, alpaca. I just find that natural materials wear really nicely. They feel nice next to your skin. And the other thing that I'm a real plastic phobe, and people and as the environment. I mean, we've all heard about ocean plastics, right? And the microplastics that are floating around in the water. They're also floating around inside of our bodies, and the way they get there is by doing things like wearing plastic clothing, which any synthetic fiber, polar fleece, polyester, nylon, spandex, go on. The list goes on and on and on. I don't. There's so many. I don't really know what tencel is. Bamboo is a natural fiber, so that would be something I would wear. But I really try not to wear a lot of of synthetic fibers, and that's why. And it's also, when you're done with them, it's kind of like throwing out a plastic toy or whatever. Like, they stick around for a long time. So, and before I sign off on today's session, which is kind of a long one, I just want to say too that another way to really think about your material is think about what you're buying new. Like I most of my clothing, like I would wager 90% of what I wear is from the thrift store because I'm just there, or I go there a lot. Um, but when I buy things new, I have saved so much money from buying most of my clothing used that, and I don't feel bad about spending the extra money. I buy things that are really good quality. I buy brands that I stand behind, how their production processes and how they make things. And I just feel like that is a really good way, so that when you give away, like suppose you're not a creative person at all. Hey, Patrice, are you just tuning in? Um, Oh, when I wash wool, I use, if you know that it's clean and you don't want it to shrink, I use a warm wash, warm rinse. So the same temperature both ways, and like do like low agitation if you don't want it to shrink, if you just want to clean it. But if you do want it to shrink, you want to have a temperature extreme. So you want to go hot wash, cold rinse, and lots of agitation. So if you want something to shrink more, so you can wash it more than once and have it keep shrinking. But if you also like, you can throw with wool, suppose you want stuff to shrink more and you take it out of the dryer, it's not really that shrunk, you can throw it back in the wash machine with towels or jeans or sweatshirts, stuff that's heavy, that's really going to get that agitation going, and that'll kind of, it'll agitate the wool more, and the agitation process mixed with the soap really makes those little microfibers in the wool, which look like little fish hooks. Each little tiny fiber of wool has these little kind of scales that keep, like, they get matted together, and you can't unmat wool. You cannot unfelt wool. So that is the trick. Um, so yes, I was talking about your new purchases. So really pay attention to who made your clothing. Like, was it produced? Like, all the stores that Century 21, H&M, Zara, The Gap, J. Crew, all of those stores have really crappy production processes. They pay people terribly. They care for their people terribly. They're all about how much something costs, and the cheaper it is for them to produce it, the cheaper it is for you to buy it, and then you're going to buy that and not go to the store that sells more expensive stuff. And we have to really change the way we think about that. And tomorrow's session is going to be more about that. So I don't want to keep you too long today. But I just want to thank you for spending your Saturday morning with me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning live at 11 right here, and hopefully we won't be interrupted tomorrow where we were today. And if you have ideas, questions, suggestions, or whatever, stuff that you have seen me do or would like to have more information about, please just send me an email. If you're on my email list, if you reply to any of the emails we send out, it will come right back to us. Or you can leave a comment here. And if you're interested in hopping on my email list, go to my website. I'm just going to pop it back in there because it was in the comments of my last segment for today, but not here. So that's that. And then there's the store I spoke about in the last segment, which is called the Garment District, and it's a great place it's a really great resource if you're in the Boston area. And pretty much any big city has amazing thrift stores. So, if you're not in the Northeast, you can just Google them. Thrift store, used clothing, whatever, you'll find them. And if you have one that you'd like to recommend in a different locale, just pop it in the comments. People love that stuff, and it's really fun to share your resources. So have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you tomorrow morning, Sunday at 11 o'clock, and look forward to chatting again then. Thank you. Have a great day.